Have a good day. Here we are going to discuss the electronic circuits 1 subject for the UG students. Before that we have some course outcome. So after studying this video lecture, the student should be able to acquire the knowledge of different methods of biasing circuits of BJT, JFET and the MOSFET. Next one, that is a single stage and multi-stage amplifier circuits. Third one, design and analyze the single stage FET and MOSFET amplifiers. Fourth one, the frequency response of small signal BJT and the FET amplifiers. Finally, we have design and analyze the regulated DC power supplies and the troubleshooting of power supplies. So the objectives of this video lecture is unit number 1 in the electronic circuits 1. Okay, so the aim is to understand the DC load line concept and the different biasing techniques of BJT. Next one, to realize the different compensation techniques of BJT. And next one, to analyze the switching characteristics of BJT. Finally, we have to be familiar with the different biasing concepts of JFET and MOSFET. So let us move on to the first topic.
Here we are going to discuss electronic circuits 1. In this we are going to discuss the biasing of BJT, JFET and MOSFET. So let us discuss one by one. Let us move on to the BJT. So what is a BJT? Means bipolar junction transistor. So here these are some introductory concept. The symbol shows a NPN and a PNP transistor. So the NPN means the arrow mark is away from the junction. PNP means it is towards the junction. These are the basic things. Already we have familiarized this topic. And these three terminals, base, emitter and the collector, that is very important one. So with this introduction we will move on to the next topic. Once if you have identified the transistor, the modes of operation is a very important one. That is, the transistor is operated under the cutoff region, active region and the saturation region. What is a cutoff region? My emitter base junction, that is externally applied voltage VBE, base emitter voltage is reverse biasing and collector base junction is reverse biased. So my transistor is under the cutoff region. What about your active region? My again that is base emitter voltage is a forward biasing and collector base junction is a reverse biased. Then you can call it as a active. My transistor is under the active region. What about your saturation region? These two things are in forward biasing. So my transistor is under the saturation region. Once if you understand this concept, let us move on to the operation of the given transistor. Here as discussed earlier, my emitter base junction is a forward biased and a collector base junction is a reverse biased. So the forward biased emitter base junction causes the electrons in the n-type emitter to flow towards the base. This constitutes the emitter current IE. As these electrons flow through the p-type base, they tend to combine with the holes in p region. So it is a in the base region is a lightly doped, so small amount of current is flowing in the base region. The remaining large amount of electrons cross the depletion region and move the collector region to the positive terminal of the external DC source as shown in the figure. This constitutes the collector current IC. Thus, electron flow constitutes the dominant current in the NPN transistor. That is, the most of the electrons from emitter flow to the collector circuit and very few combine in the holes in the base region. This collector current dominates in the base current. Once, if you understand the operation of the transistor, let us move on to the transistor characteristics. So there are two characteristics. One is the input and the output characteristics. For this we have taken the common emitter configuration as a circuit diagram. Why we have considered this common emitter instead of a common base and a common collector means this common emitter is having a very good characteristics in the gain value. So it is and it is mostly preferred for the amplifier characteristics. So that's why we can go for the common emitter configuration. Here VBE is connected, VCE is connected. So apply a input value to the VBE is connected and input to the base terminal. So what happened? So VBE is varying, corresponding IB value is noted by keeping VCE is a constant. This is a input characteristics procedure. Once if you note down the VBE value, initially my IB value is 0, and if you keep on increasing the VBE base emitter voltage and my IB value is slowly increasing, at one stage my base emitter voltage is constant and IB value base current is increasing. So if you refer this diagram with the conventional diode, it looks same one, because we are considering only a PN junction terminal, so it looks like a ordinary conventional diode in the input characteristics. Now consider the output characteristics. Let us move on to the output characteristics. Here the procedure is vary the collector emitter voltage VCE, note down the output current, that is collector current, by keeping IB base current as a constant. So that is very important one. So in this we have discussed cutoff region, saturation region and active region. What is meant by cutoff region? So my collector current is 0, then you can call it as my device is under the off condition, so this is under the cutoff region. What about your saturation region? So my collector emitter voltage is increasing, my collector current is increasing slowly, that is it will pick up the collector current based on my input current, based on the input current, that is IB value. Slowly it will vary. At one stage, irrespective of the collector emitter voltage, my collector current gets constant. So this region is nothing but your that is active region. So before that it is a saturation region. So there are three regions. What is the active region? Note down. So if you the collector current is almost constant in the region, then you can call it as a active region. So this device is called a current control device. Why it is called a current control device means by based on my input value, the output current is fixed. That's why controlled. That's why it is called a current controlled device. So and another thing, always my transistor is operated under the active region. So these are all the simple things, basic things we have discussed here. Once if you understand this basic concepts of input characteristics and output characteristics, let us move on to the biasing of a given transistor. So why we need a biasing of a given transistor? Again we have taken a common emitter, so we must operate the transistor under the linear region, that is a transistor operating point Q is fixed. How to fix the Q point? Let us discuss one by one, and this should be depends upon the IC, VCE and the IB value. We know IC collector current, VCE, that's now just now we have discussed, and IB value. So based on my values IC, VCE and IB value, the Q point is fixed. Q point is fixed. So this Q point is very very important for the analysis of the given transistor, operation of the given transistor. So for this we can go for the DC load line concept. So for the given circuit diagram, apply KVL to the output circuit, that is VCC is equal to IC VCC minus ICRC minus VCE equal to 0. Rearranging this and compare with the straight line equation, we are getting two cases. One is when the collector current IC equal to 0, that is VCE is equal to VCC my applied voltage. Next, collector emitter voltage VCE equal to 0, but next collector current is equal to VCC by RC. So I have getting 2 points, and move on to the characteristics of a given transistor, output characteristics. So note down these 2 points in this graph, output characteristics graph. I am getting 2 points, and join these 2 points, I am getting one straight line. The red line shows the DC load line. So by joining these 2 points and in the output characteristics, next how to fix the operating point, that is very important. Here I have chosen the center of the region. I have fixed the Q point as a center region. Why not other points, or why not other region? Let us discuss one by one. So why not other region? We will go for the next discussion. So here the Q point fixing is very important one, and the DC load line concept is very important one. How to draw a DC load line? By taking a equation, KVL equation, next by applying a condition, find the 2 points and put it in the graph, join these 2 points and draw the straight line, and meeting point of your characteristics, identify the center point, that is your Q point. So always operate the transistor under the Q point is very important one. Let us move on to the next topic. Why not other region in the characteristics? The selection of Q point is very important one. So when you move the Q point in the top, that is where Q point is nearer to the saturation region, the collector current is, what happened means the collector current is clipped at the positive half cycle, even though the base current varies sinusoidally, but the collector current is not useful in the sinusoidal waveform. That is, a distortion is present at the output, therefore it is not suitable for the operating point. What about your second case? So it is nearer to the cutoff region, so the collector current is clipped at the negative half cycle, so again the point R is not suitable for the operating point. So let us move on to the third one. It is a fixer in the center region. So we here if you look into the diagram, without any distortion I am getting the output. So the fixing a Q point is a very important one. Okay sir, I have fixed the point. Okay, is there any other parameters to be considered? Yes, there are 2 parameters to be considered while considering the operation of a transistor. So by after fixing these two, after fixing the Q point, you have to consider the 2 more parameters. One is temperature, another one is your current gain value. So what is temperature variation means? If the temperature is varies, how the temperature is varies means as the power dissipated within the transistor is predominantly the power dissipated at its collector base junction, that is power dissipation is equal to Vc into Ic, that is the increase in the collector current increases the power dissipated at the collector junction. This in turn further increases the temperature of the junction and hence increases the collector current. So this process is once cumulative means what happen means extra heat is produced, more excess heat is produced, and this will destroy the device, or it will at one stage it will burn. So that is called the thermal runaway. So for any transistor, maximum power dissipation is always a fixed value. So the curve shows maximum power dissipation value. The first diagram shows maximum power dissipation value. So from the data sheet you have to mention, you have to refer the power dissipation value. So let us move on to the next parameter, current gain value. So if you take same type, same number of transistor, that is if 2 transistors of same type and the same number, construction parameters specified etc, everything is the same, and use them in the circuit, there is a change in the beta DC value, that is the current gain value in the actual practice. So in the practically the gain value is changing. So if you the biasing circuit is designed according to the required current value, but due to the change from unit to unit my operating point shifts. So keep in mind the temperature and the gain value are very important while taking for the operation of the transistor. So the diagram shows there are 2 lines. One is a solid line, another one is a dashed line. The dashed line is having another transistor beta DC value, and you just see this Q1 and Q2. Q2 for the dashed line and Q1 for the solid line operating point. So these 2 parameters are to be fixed here. So the operating point should be made independent of the transistor parameters such as beta DC value. So to maintain the operating point by keeping the IC and VCE constants, so that the transistor will always work in the active region, that is very important one. That's why we can go for the biasing techniques, that is stabilization techniques and the compensation techniques. What stabilization techniques do means that is it refers to the use of resistive biasing circuits which allow IB to vary so as to keep IC relatively constant with variations in ICO, beta DC and the VBE.
What about your compensation techniques means it refers to use of some temperature sensitive devices such as diodes, transistors and thermistors. These are the temperature sensitive devices which provide the compensating the voltages and current, and it is maintaining the operating point stable. So let us move on to the stabilization techniques.